Might as well just start it.
It's all good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madison. I'm the marketing coordinator at the Business Software Center. Today, we're doing a coffee talk TBSC, which is the hashtag you see on the screen. If you ever need to contact me, please use that hashtag on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, or you're more than welcome to use our questions and answers section on the right-hand side of the screen. Today, I do have Ben from RingCentral. So this is a really awesome guest that we have because he's an expert in cloud communications and collaboration. So today he'll go ahead and discuss how to enable the workforce with message, video, and phone. So at this time, I'll go ahead and pass it off to Ben, and he'll go ahead and give a presentation on RingCentral and how to improve the remote workforce.
Thanks, Madison. It's spoken like a pro. So the idea of today, folks, is really to, I guess, to share a bit of insight, tell you a little bit about who RingCentral are, obviously, just so you know who this bearded guy is talking to you at the moment. Tell you a bit about the business, and I guess it's probably one of the most talked about means of communication and collaboration in probably everybody's world, where we're all looking at ways to go back to the office partially. You know, maybe some of us fully, or maybe some of us none at all. You know, might just stay working from home. I live in partner land, so I'm out and about seeing, you know, partners like Madison, and but I am enjoying being no more than about 15 feet from the kettle any one time. So constant cups of tea is all very good. So we're gonna just dig in to tell you a little bit about RingCentral, just so you know who we are and what we do. We are a recognized leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. We sit in the leader quadrant. We have some good company up there. Gartner are an independent analyst that look at the market and look at where everyone are, and you know, the trajectory and direction that they're moving in. Luckily for RingCentral, the Magic Quadrant for us has symbolized you know, huge growth of the business. And shows that we're able to innovate and move the technology forwards and help our customers. So what do we do? So we're a unified communications and a contact center or customer experience organization, and I guess we split ourselves down the middle. The unified communication story is through our RingCentral Office platform that gives message, video, phone, and our contact center platform and customer engagement tools are almost like a secondary technology, but they all work together. So you might have called a bank, or you might have called a Amazon helpline or someone like that, and be given options to press buttons and speak to people in different departments. And you know, that's probably how most of us would relate to a contact center or a call center. Lots of different names for them. Much happier people now they can work from home. So again, we probably talk a lot about this, and I think it's the right thing to do it, because we're all finding that it is possible to work from home given the right tools and the right equipment. Madison, I don't know if you spend the majority of your time at home, or whether or not you're ever in an office, but I'm 100% at home at the moment. And even for someone that's worked in communications and collaboration for more years than I'd like to admit, let's just say 15 as a round number. I have to say that even working from home, you start to find that stride, you start to find that pattern of what works for you. And I'm sure those that have joined, or those of you that are looking at this from the future, from the recording, let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you found worked well for you, what didn't, what have you learned. These are all very, very interesting insights to hear about. RingCentral's platform, from the perspective of how we help people work from home and stay connected with their teams and their organizations and their customers, is really broken down into one experience. It's very fluid. It's available on any device. anywhere, and it's a cloud-based solution, so you can scale it up and move it around as much as you wish. It's split across the ability to call people, the ability to meet with people, and the ability to message people. So all of the modes and means of communication that we'd all come to expect. When we all went into the lockdown, I think, was it about a year ago? Seems like forever. But what that taught us is that a lot of the technologies you can't take out of the office. With RingCentral, everything's available on every device, anywhere you are. So the ability to call people and the ability to message people, staying connected with people, albeit just to have a mental health check-in with someone in your team and talk about what you had for takeaway on a Friday night, or whether or not you're contributing some sales figures into a team chat with your peers. It's all in one pane of glass. And video, nice to see Madison's got her video on. I've obviously got my video on. I can't do a meeting without video, which is unfortunate for those that join my meetings, because they got to put up with my ugly mug. But the nature of a meeting is typically in the past thought of as just turning up and seeing someone and being in the same room as someone. Now, being remote, what we're trying to do is trying to keep that experience as close to that as possible, and that means being able to see people. I think probably the webcam market did very well in the last 12 months. I think there was probably a 4 or 5 month period when nobody could get a webcam from anywhere. And I think it's good because it's nice to be able to see people, even remotely. If you can't be there live and in person for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be a pandemic. It just could be because you've got to do the school run or whatever. So video is really, really key, and we're seeing that is very much I guess one of the larger metrics where people are actually have really switched video on a lot more. So the platform itself, I guess, to work with some of the other tools that you use on the desktop is accessible to integrate into an awful lot of desktop applications like CRM tools or ticketing systems. And if you're someone working from home and typically you work with teams of people that do things for you or have access to certain applications that you don't, RingCentral really digs deeper into those and actually gives you a lot more functionality from things like CRM, where you can just click a button and it starts ringing, or if somebody calls you and a record pops up, it's just making it a lot easier. Working from home, I don't use a desk phone, so everything comes through my screens and my Logitech speakers to the side. I need everything to be click to dial because I've got no buttons to push. So just moving forwards, what does the new normal look like? It's a phrase used a lot. Reality is, it is going to be a new normal. Whether or not the new normal is going back to being in the office, seeing the same people, is a big question mark. Will we go back? Do we want to go back? It's not just about the pandemic. It's not just about illness or anything like that, or travel bans or anything like that. It's personal preference. That's what the last 15 months have taught us, is that actually we can be disciplined to work from home. We can stay connected. We can speak to each other. We can do our jobs and love our customers and partners as much as we have done in the past. We've just made that choice to make it work. And making it work is about having the right technologies enabled within the business, and being able to do your 9 to 5 without it feeling like 9 to 9, and just keep staying productive with the people that you work with and for. There are some interesting metrics around how the end user, you or I, have really looked at how we want to be more efficient and work from home or work from anywhere. It doesn't have to be your home. It could be a coffee shop, it could be a park bench somewhere. I joined a call with a partner the other day. She was sitting on a park bench. Most tranquil surroundings. And I said, well, hey, why there? Said, well, it's my chance to get out. Took a tablet with her, headphones in, bit of fresh air, and get your steps in, and also carry on working with the people around you. So just clicked forwards one too many. Bear with me. So I guess as we move forwards, what does that look like? Well, we are seeing quite a lot of adoption of video, as I said earlier. But we're also seeing messaging and groups and people becoming a little bit more effective with how they set those up, when they set those up, how are projects being managed, and some pretty cool ideas, some pretty cool incentives within organizations that are trying to get their employees to stay connected. At RingCentral, we have astronomy groups, we have retro gaming groups. Madison and I were talking a little bit about that earlier. Retro gaming is like my childhood. So it's not all about, setting up groups for, sales and pipeline management. Sometimes it's about staying connected to the things that, make us who we are. So these things are all really, really important. I don't know if we want to take any questions from the attendees, Madison, or whether or not we're just going to use the remaining time just to share each other's experiences.
Okay, we do have one question in the chat right now. It says, is RingCentral an alternative to Teams, or can this be integrated into Teams?
So a fantastic question. So I guess we give a customer choice. We can offer a direct routing integration as well as a side-by-side integration. So you can keep using Microsoft's messaging and meeting, but you can have our voice behind the dial pad of Teams. So it looks like the Teams experience, but you just have a slightly different experience, an elevated experience from the perspective of RingCentral has a higher uptime. We have some very cool ways that we work with calls when they come into the user. Lots of other kind of good bits that make it a good option. We can obviously do a replacement where it can just be RingCentral for message, video, phone. But if you're already invested in the Microsoft journey and you're using Teams and you're happy there and you want to stay there, then there is a conversation to be had around how we can integrate into Teams and make that a positive experience.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a really good option, especially because, Microsoft just simply can't do it all. And I feel like incorporating what RingCentral can do would help boost the collaboration aspect for sure. It's just, and that's the thing with Microsoft is it's really nice. They offer those they allow third-party app integration just to make the experience better for the end user. So yeah, I think that's a really excellent point to bring up, that you can integrate into Teams as well as offer it separately.
There's the good thing about Teams is that you can almost compartmentalize areas of it that actually Microsoft will allow you to send to a third party. For us, from the perspective of the voice, or you could even use the meetings or whatever you want. It's a good option. We've been doing this for 20 plus years as a voice provider in the cloud, and I think what that does is it gives us a lot of experience on what went wrong, as well as what's gone well, but also being financially capable of investing in the platform in the right places. And you put those two together, and it kind of it's a bit of a winning combo from the perspective of what the end customer ends up having.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fantastic integration that continues to grow, and we're seeing a lot of business today that is Microsoft plus RingCentral.
Right, and that seems really good for businesses that have different needs in general. So it's like your product can really tailor to exactly what a business would need. And I think it's really vital, especially now with knowing that the future is going to probably incorporate a lot of remote work, that now is the time to really get it right. So just in case something like a pandemic would happen again, they would have the tools in place so they can certainly work remotely full time.
And I think it's also about choice. I think choice is the new normal. I know that phrase gets used a lot, but choice is that, you know, there might be a day where we just simply don't want to leave the house to travel. You know, we were saying how the weekend was fraught with a ton of rain and very windy, gales down here, 60 miles an hour wind. And would I really want to go anywhere? Probably not. You know, would that necessarily, you know, wouldn't put me off seeing a customer in a meeting, obviously, because there's expectations there. But, you know, I can do my job here and not have to sort of forfeit any type of experience by leaving my house, other than the fact that I am constantly plagued with the wildlife of our house, you know, joining calls and yeah, just walking across to say hello, cats and dogs and
Oh yeah,
the occasional child. It wouldn't be a meeting without a cat's tail going past the camera.
I actually really enjoy working from home, and it's been a really good experience. And it's also been really cost effective for me as well. I don't have to pay for trains anymore. So I definitely like the idea of this being a choice moving forward. And I feel like this goes beyond business. I mean, students, you know, people attending conferences and stuff, I think having the hybrid option is probably what's going to be more effective, because it would give people the choice, you know, people who don't want to travel or can't travel, etc. So
and it's accessibility for education as well. You can have more distance learners.
Yep.
And you can have a wider audience for your, you know, for your business. It's just, yeah, I've worked in this space for so long, and everybody's sort of, you know, said our video, and you know, and I remember that, you know, we'd in a previous company I worked at, we'd have several video rooms that had dust on them. No one ever used them. It was mostly conference calls, the occasional kind of web meeting, but even then people wouldn't have video on. Whereas now, I'd say 9 out of 10 of the meetings that I join, the cameras are on. People are kind of, you know, it's nice to see each other. It's nice to see what's in our houses and what we're doing, or, you know, yeah, we're social creatures, right? So it's good that we have the ability to turn on the camera, and albeit my perception of people in this world is that their body is only sort of from there up. You know, we'll get to a position where, you know, we'll see people in person when and if we want to. It doesn't have to be a pandemic. It could be anything. Could be you know, could be practicality, timing, got the plumber coming, or just preference.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. Is this the end of your presentation, or do you have a few other slides for us?
No, that's it.
That's it? Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up because our coffee talks are just slightly under 15 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap up our conversation. I want to thank you for joining me today and just sharing what RingCentral is, and having that little debate on where the future is going with remote work. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll go ahead and post this on our YouTube channel for people to view later. All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.